Hey everyone, today I want to talk about Kipo and how Dave represents living with a disability.
Hey, I'll take offense to that! Oops.
I couldn't find anything explicitly mentioning they were trying to represent disability, but Kipo puts a lot of importance on diversity, both in the themes of the show and in its production. I also suspect it was intentional because of how much care the writers clearly put into Kipo. But either way, Dave really resonated to me and my experience of being disabled. I highly recommend watching Kipo, so I'm gonna make sure there are no major spoilers. Kipo is an apocalyptic setting. The pitch for it by the creator Rad Secrist was The Walking Dead, but instead of zombies, everything trying to kill you is adorable. The adorable things are mutant animals, called mutes. A mutant outbreak happened around 200 years before the show takes place, and humans have been forced to live underground in burrows ever since. Dave is a mute that Kipo meets as she's trying to survive on the surface.
Charmed.
He is a bug that transforms through 6 different stages of a regenerative life cycle: baby, toddler, teen, adult, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and elder. While this cycle makes Dave practically immortal because anything that could cause him death will instead start his life cycle over again, Dave has no control over when these transformations happen. This means that Dave's abilities and needs are in a constant flux, which is true for everyone, but far more noticeable when you're disabled. And this is a regular theme of the show. Dave and his friends are constantly in danger, and Dave knows if his body cooperated, he could save them. But instead, he is often left frustrated not being able to access abilities he knows he has. And even when he can occasionally will himself to access them, it doesn't necessarily go as planned.
That worked! Kind of.
Many people don't understand these fluctuating needs or abilities. They think if you can do something once, you can do it all the time.
That was weird!
A great example is when people act like they've caught someone faking because they stood up from a wheelchair, or that it's somehow a miracle or inspirational or something. Seriously, don't do this. A lot of people that need wheelchairs have difficulty walking, but can still walk. I don't know what the most recent data is, but in a report from 2013, over 40% of people who use wheelchairs were able to walk by themselves without assistance, but 94% had at least some difficulty walking a quarter mile by themselves. The wheelchair is still helping them, whether it's a harder day where they don't have the energy or are in too much pain. On other days, the wheelchair may help them reserve energy so walking doesn't use it all up. Managing energy is a huge part of being disabled. But what meant a lot to me in Kipo is Dave is a valued member of the group, regardless of what state he's currently in, even when he's a crying baby as they try to sneak away from danger. And it's not just that his friends look out for him, Dave sometimes is the one saving the day, and not just with his super strength in Arnold form either. His ideas and experiences are valued. There's also no nonsense about Dave being inspiring, and even though Dave is the comedic relief, he's never the punchline. The jokes don't come at his expense. Not even related to his cognitive issues, like struggling with memory, which is typically low-hanging fruit for a lot of people. And true to real life, Dave even has fun with his disability sometimes.
You think you can hit the letterbox down there with one of my arms? Oh, definitely.
There's also never any narrative of pushing sympathy for Dave's friends because they are playing a caregiver role sometimes. There are a couple instances where Dave is mistreated because someone is frustrated, but it's always shown as them being in the wrong.
Okay, I wish you would just molt already. Preferably into, I don't know, a fun version of you.
This moment had me in tears. This is Benson, Dave's best friend, hitting a major fear for many of us.
Oh, that hurts. Guess I'll just get out your way until I mold into someone you like.
Being disabled means not only being aware of our limited energy and having to manage our fluctuating abilities, but also how this affects our relationships. Are people going to understand when we can't make it to things as much? When we're not always happy? Are they going to think we're just complaining, talking about our pain or other struggles? My biggest fear is feeling like I might be a burden. Are memory issues or my struggle with executive functioning going to cause hardships on my loved ones because I miss things that need to be done or forget about important things? Is my difference in communication style going to cause too much frustration? What about my difficulty in doing things that can feel simple due to my pain, motor skill issues, or just difficulty doing something I've never done before? Is a meltdown going to be perceived as an adult just throwing a tantrum? I know none of these thoughts are fair to myself, but they creep in sometimes because it can be hard to make or maintain friendships. Many don't understand why these things happen. Most will just assume you're lazy or don't care. This is part of the reason I am so critical when media emphasizes a caregiver's story at the expense of the disabled person. Not only is it always harder for the disabled person, but it plays into one of the deepest fears we have, being accepted.
Guess I'll just get out your way until I mold into someone you like.
I know I feel incredibly lucky and grateful for the few people in my life that accept me for who I am, like my wife and a few friends. So it was really heartwarming to see this in Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts, seeing Dave with his friends being fully accepted. And it feels especially important this was done right in a show that touches on serious issues like eugenics. It's important to celebrate diversity and interdependence rather than hyper-individualism, because you are not alone, and no one should feel like they have to be.
And I really need your help right now.
This week, our patrons want to spotlight Faisal. I just realized maybe it's pronounced P. Hazel. They're a disabled creator who is new to making videos and adds a rare and invaluable insight by sharing their experiences with chronic illness. I also want to mention their project Chronic Illness Buddies, which they've set up as a way for people with chronic illnesses to connect with others who can understand your experience. And if you want to help pick creators for us to spotlight like seen here in these videos, you can become a patron at patreon.com/questingrefuge. Thanks so much for watching.